Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The gratitude girls are in the house. Hi, Laurie. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, Catherine?
I'm great. And I cannot wait to ask you this question right now. We're going to talk about live events and objections, but you certainly don't have to handle any objections. You just had 58 people say yes to you. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Catherine Sarah Myers, affectionately known as RaRa, and I'm broadcasting to you tonight live from beautiful Niagara-on-the-Lake. And I'm here with my amazing partner.
I am Lori Del Gradecki, and I am outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
I know what I'm going to write in my Gratitude Girls journal tonight, that's for sure. So we're here to give you a 5, 6, 7 minute training, coaching and training. Every week we're here to give that to you. And the topic tonight is how to handle objections at live meetings and events. So, Lori, I'd love to talk about how to handle them, but first, kudos to you for not having any objections and having 58, 60 people say yes to you in person. Can you tell us something about that for a minute? Because some people will never know what that's like, and I only wish that they could.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not that I didn't have any. There was some people that did come up to the booth and then they were like, "Oh, no, thank you," and they go on, right? So, but still very blessed and honored that yes, 58 people did come up to my booth and they did ask for more information. They allowed me to put our amazing patch on them and do a balance test on them and filled out my card for more information and to be entered in our drawing and ask us more information and gave us a lot of information about them, right? Because with what we were doing, we would ask them questions of what they needed help with and what issues they might be having health wise and different things. And so, but it's very interactive and it's very, it's just the more people you can help, and especially when people come back to you and say their pain is gone in seconds or they can walk better now, that's just, it's incredible. It's an incredible feeling.
It is, and thank you for that, because whether you're in North America, South America, or wherever you are, if you happen to be in a live event and you have a product, if it's a service, it's a bit different. So we'll talk about a product right now. If you have a product and you're, trying to talk to people about it, the more you say, the worse it gets. The less you say, the better it gets. So what I heard Lori say is that she demonstrated 58 people said yes. I didn't hear any objections. Somebody saying no is not really an objection. An objection would be someone who comes and wants to sort of arbitrate like what that does or doesn't do, or how it's not, organic isn't organic, or how that's not really going to do anything. I just picked on organic. Some people will say, I can't see it. I don't understand it. So you had 58 people say yes at a live event, which meant that you were smiling for 2 days. You were on your feet. The first hour and the last hour, you were as pleasant, I'm certain. And when someone is in an event, you may get tired, but you really can't say, oh, it's almost over. Because that person who comes up to you could be the one, right? And you could be the one for them that makes the change. So hosting live events is a 360-degree endeavor. It's not starting at 9, ending at 4. It's the whole time you're on. Every cell in your body is on. I'm sure you had a lot of patches on when you did that.
Yes, absolutely. I had extra ones on.
So you had that. You were walking the walk and talking the talk. So when you were in a live event, you look people in the eye and you speak to them and you can read them. So when we're in a live event, let's say we're presenting. So in the case of presenting a service, what Gratitude Girls has, what we have in our other businesses, when we're speaking to people, it's easy for them to have what we would call like stinking thinking. It might just slip up into like, I'm not good enough, so therefore what you have to offer me is not going to help. I don't have enough money, so therefore, if I don't have any funds, then I won't be able to invest in that service for my business. I don't make enough money, so therefore, this stinking thinking comes up with people when there's service-oriented items. When it's a tangible item, the charger from my headphone, someone can say yes or no based on, yes, it's $1, yes, it's $100, and they might feel like it is going to do exactly what they need. Hopefully that's what they do. When it's a service, they have to believe in themselves, and people quit on themselves very often. And therefore, the service that's being provided takes the hit. No matter how good the service provider is, if our client doesn't believe in themselves, we have to sit and take the fall for it because they just don't think they're good enough. I know we're going to hear a lot of feedback or pushback on this, but that's just the way it is. You don't feel good about yourself, you lash out at the first person and say, I can't do that because. So when you have a face-to-face meeting with someone, you're putting yourself, your best self forward, and you're bringing it out in them. I'm sure you're smiling and you're looking beautiful and you're talking to them. We can't always do that online and on Zoom or whatever platform we want to use. We can't always get that eye-to-eye contact where we can draw somebody into us and them drawing us into them because it's mutual. When we work with somebody, we don't just want them to buy this thing. We want to connect with them so that they are our best customer or client. We don't want subpar clients. We want the best client, and that's what we look for. So everyone is in that lineup, right? Who's going to be the next best client to get the next best piece of us? So what happens if somebody comes up to you and they're a little bit negative? Like, how do you not let that hurt, right? Because sometimes the ego gets in the way. How do you not let that hurt or deter you from speaking to the next person?
Yeah, well, one of the first things I do is I start out the conversation. So as people, like for example, this weekend I was working this booth, and so people were walking by me. So the same thing if you're out in an event, you're at a networking thing, anywhere in public where you're interacting with people. But I'm the first one to speak up. I'm the first one to smile. I'm the first one to say, good morning. And it doesn't matter if they're paying attention to me or not. I say, good morning. How you doing today? Right. And that gets them one, it gets their attention. It makes that eye contact because they usually turn and look at me and they'll reply back. And sometimes then they'll come up to the booth. Right. And but with that, I've started out with the higher energy. I've started
Mm,
out with that positive energy, right? And so someone still can be negative, but for the most part, most of the time, people will mirror
yes.
what you portray.
What a good point, Lori. What a good point. So if you think somebody's looking at you funny, it's probably because you're looking at them funny. So you're actually seeing in people. I know a lot of people are going to push back on this too. They're what they see in people if somebody's not being nice or if there's being a nasty boy, nasty girl, or whatever's happening to them, it could be that's the vibe they're giving off. So you don't let it happen. You basically walk in with your best and you don't invite it. You don't even crack the door a little bit for that to come in. Yeah, I
No,
know you
I
don't.
because I want to take control of the situation and I want to make sure that it is a good atmosphere, right? Because you never know what somebody's day is, right?
Right.
People don't go around with a post-it note on their forehead that says, I'm having a bad day because whatever. And whether they're having a bad day or not doesn't matter. The thing is, you want to leave people better than they were before they talk to
Yes.
you. And so if
Mm.
nothing else happens except for the fact that I said good morning and I was happy and I was chipper and smiled at them, maybe that made them feel just a little bit better today.
And I love that you're addressing them with your energy because we don't know if someone that we're approaching is in pain. They could have a headache, a toothache, a stomach ache, a chronic pain they lived with for 20 years. And this could be the day that they just had it. Somehow they're in a public setting and they're thinking they're going to do well and just it becomes overwhelming. So reading the room, reading those people really makes sense. I happened to see your booth because you showed it to me and it was awesome. And our book was there and I felt like I was there with you the whole time. When I present and I'm doing an online or an in-person meeting, I'm presenting as a co-founder, a co-author, and that brings you into the room. It brings me and as opposed to the solopreneurs out there, when it's you without your team, it's a very different posture than not having a team, because the question is, why don't you have a team? Why don't you have a partner? So it's important to have someone. Laurie and I speak all the time about what we're doing, and we support one another. So with another minute to go, Laurie, I would say that when it comes to objections, we don't invite them. We have people mirror us. And if someone really came up and they were hard pressed to say something negative, I would smile and I would say thank you and I would wish them a good day. And I really would not let it bother me. What
Right.
about you?
Yeah, exactly. You can't let it bother you because you can't let that conversation go into the conversation with the next person,
Right.
right? So just like in relationships, like if you think back to when you were dating, you can't let the bad relationship from the last one
Right.
jade the the information with the next person, right? So that's the same thing with business relationships. You have to keep it high at the beginning anyway, and at that positive energy, that high vibrational energy. You can't let anything negative from the past business relationship go towards the next business relationship. That's not fair to that next customer or client.
Mm, I love that. It's not fair. So wrapping it up, I'm hopping into another room. Laurie, how can people get with us to talk to us about this so that we can teach them how they could have people mirror us with our positive energy?
Yes, absolutely. So go to gratitudegirls.com. You can literally see over 10 years of training, all kinds of training there. You can follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn at Gratitude Girls and TikTok. But go to our website or go to our Facebook and send us a message and let us know what you liked about our training, if you have any comments, and what you'd like us to train on next.
Thank you, Laurie. It's always great to hear about your successes and for us to share them with our audience. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Ciao.